Welcome back. In this video, I'd like to share with you a new story. And this is a tragic story because, as you know, it is inconceivable that in the third millennium a war has been declared. It's barbaric. And the story I want to share with you is a touching story. I had a chance to watch live on the BBC TV a couple of days ago. This is the story. Ukraine conflict. Terrified but coping, resident on Dnipro jolt into action. On the day Vladimir Putin ordered his soldiers into Ukraine, Arina had planned a dance class after work and then a party. 3 days later, the English teacher was making Molotov cocktails in a park. I found her crouching on the grass with dozens of other women, grating polystyrene chunks as if they were cheese and ripping sheets into rags for homemade bottle bombs. Such a scene are unimaginable to most in Europe. They were unthinkable here too, once. But Dnipro is now preparing to defend itself against advancing Russian troops. No one thought this is how we'd spend our weekend, but it seemed like the only important thing to do now, Arina told me. The young teacher's face, an air sprinkled in white dust from the polystyrene. It's pretty terrifying. I think we don't really realize what it is we are doing. We just need to be doing something, she said. A few meters away, Elena and Yulia told me they'd left their children with grandparents in order to come and help make these weapons. Sitting home, doing nothing, would be even scarier, Elena said, not posing a gratin even for a second. She laughed that she could cook and this process is not different. I can't believe this is happening to us. But what choice do we have? No one consulted us on anything, Elena said. The English teacher Arina is now spending a weekend making Molotov cocktails in a park. It feels like this whole city has been jolted into action. The steps on a nearby hall are heaped with donated clothes, blankets, and buckwheat. A stream of people keep arriving with more, including petrol, water, and toiletries, as volunteers yell instructions on where to take it all. The supplies are for the Ukrainian fighters as well as anyone forced to flee to Dnipro from fighting elsewhere. But it's also a stockpile for it if tragic city comes under siege itself. The giant effort was launched by 5 women and a half handful of social media posts. Now dozens of people are coordinating a major aid effort that looks chaotic but is anything of the sort. There is a whole separate area for those who want to get a weapon and sign up to fight. That queue stretches far off into the distance. The official organizations couldn't cope, so we created these centers, Katerina Leonova told me. A phone unglued from her ear for a brief moment. Does Putin really believe he can take over Ukraine and make Russia out of Ukraine? We are not scared here. We are angry, she said. Dnipro has already felt the cost of this war. All 400 beds at the military hospital are full and staff are now receiving hundreds of casualties every day. They've set up camp beds in the corridors to cope with the influx. We are at a peak, I think. There is fighting on all sides of us. Hospital spokesman Sergei Bankivsky told me, his voice quietly urgent. Before we used to know exactly where the clashes were taking place and could prepare to receive the injured even before they were evacuated to us. Now the flow is constant. The military can't use helicopters. Russian forces will shoot them down. By road, it takes much longer to reach urgent care. But Sergei insisted that morale was high even among the injured. Even men with burns or concussion want to go back to their unit to carry on the fight, he said. As we spoke, 2 buses pulled out of the hospital gate full of soldiers. The walking wounded were being transferred to facility elsewhere in Ukraine, freeing up beds closer to the front line. There is no shortage of supplies for them. People bring bags of medicine, syringe, and bandages to the hospital non-stop. I saw one man handing over an old set of crutches. Nothing was refused, and I had a chance. I personally saw this footage on a live BBC report. Dnipro is coping. A whole city is rallying round, but the pressure on everyone is increasing. Thank you for watching. This is the tragedy, Ukraine is suffering right now. Bye-bye.